The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Earnestly podcast. I guess my file's corrupt here because I can't seem to get the file correct here on the intro of the show. I apologize to you guys. Fuck the G, especially you can't hear his voice on the intro. But yeah, it sucks. Anyway, how you guys doing? Earnest Christian here, coming to you April 30th, 2024. I'm exhausted, but I gotta get this in. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. I haven't done a podcast for about a week. And it's funny because I have a lot of podcasts scheduled on this feed in the next couple of days. I'm recording actually 3 shows. Well, this one and then 2 more shows on this feed today alone. We're going to do a student report. Scheduled to do a student report after I record this show with Kyle Nash to do an NFL draft recap. And then tonight, I'm recording with our good friend, Zach the German. We're going to weekly now going forward for the next month and a half during the NBA playoffs. I'm also doing a wrestling retro podcast tonight as well, too, which I haven't done in 2 weeks. And then tomorrow I'm gonna have one schedule as well too, and who knows what happens rest of the week because I haven't done anything in the week, and that's fine. Take our time here a little bit. But today's episode is titled chapter number 44 because it is April 30th. You guys know tomorrow, May 1st, is my 44th birthday. It's also not only the birthday for me, it's also my mother's birthday. She by the way, turns 29 years old for I think the something time. I'm not going to say that, reveal that, because she obviously want nobody to know her age. But happy birthday, Mom, to you. And like I said, these birthdays for me, they become more about just appreciating what you have, the time you have with family. I don't need any bells and whistles anymore at this point, man. I told my wife, she asked me what I wanted. I go, listen, as long as I'm home, I'm able to spend time with you and the kids, go to dinner, whatever it may be, just celebrate food, family, fun, friends, the whole 9. That's where my life is at this point now, is being able to connect with people you care about, whether it be friends or family. That's where I'm at in my life these days. And, so I don't need the bells and whistles. Of course, I'd love to go take a vacation here and whatnot and do those kind of things. But, it's about, to me, my birthday's about just celebrating life because every day is a gift. Every day is a gift. And for me, especially in the last year, working on having better health, which has been a struggle, but we'll get to that in a second. It's on the list of things to talk about here. Even more so now, I have to appreciate life because you don't know how long I'm going to be here. We don't know. We don't know when our time expires on this earth. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be next year, years down the road, decades, who knows? God willing, and I hope, God's listening to this podcast, that I can live a long time and I can be able to see my kids get older and have their own kids and be a grandfather, and my wife and I go old together and, have do the things that her and I discussed, for years about growing old on the porch and just being able to enjoy each other's company until until God sends us home. So that's my priority these days when it comes to my birthday. I don't, like I said, I don't need the bells and whistles. I don't need all that extra stuff. But I know, obviously, I'm going to say it in advance. I know I'll be getting a lot of the wishes, in the next 24 hours, 40 hours, obviously, on social media and family and friends. I'll tell you, to say up front, thank you so much for, the birthday wishes, of course. I love you very much. Appreciate you in my life, whether or not you're a close friend or an acquaintance or someone that's there, you have a purpose. You have a purpose why you're in my life, and I appreciate that. And that's something I that's something that I can always say no matter what, that I appreciate the people in my life. And like I said, building a community here of friends and family, it's something it's important to me, especially when I have kids. kids that want to be able to trust people also. Building community is important for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it, retroactively, or I don't know how that works, retroactively, early on, whatever it may be, that to all the folks gonna wish you happy birthday in the next 24 hours. Because I'm not gonna record another solo podcast probably another week or so. Thank you for that. I appreciate it very much so. And I'm gonna try to celebrate as much as I can. I have to work tomorrow, obviously, my birthday, so that's not gonna be. I'm not gonna be able to celebrate as much, as I want to, like going out with family. And my wife has to work that night too. Also, my mother, like I said, it's her birthday as well too. I do plan on taking her out for her birthday on Thursday for breakfast. Something simple, no top. Is again enjoying each other's company, and that's where my life is at also too. Like I said. So again, thank you so much, everybody. Wish me birthdays, all the birthday wishes, that we'll be getting in the days to come. So thank you so much for that. I mentioned about eating struggles. Because in eating and stuff, and just struggling with health. I'll be honest with you, this has been the worst I've been in a year. I don't feel good either. Today and yesterday, I haven't been feeling that good, honestly. A lot of it could be allergies too, also, but a lot of it also too is just since I took to Disney World last week, a little weekend getaway we did last week with the family. I've been eating like crap. I've resorted back to drinking sugary drinks more commonly than I used to in the last year. I've been eating things I shouldn't be eating. I'm a diabetic. I mean, I'm type 2 diabetic. And yes, while it's in remission and I'm taking meds and all that, the reality is you never really get rid of it. You never really get rid of diabetes. You can diminish the effects, but at the same time, it's all about what you put in the system. And I have a hard time. I just no secret here in this podcast. I've been saying for last year. One of my biggest drawbacks, one of my biggest struggles is carbs. I don't necessarily eat a lot of sweets. Like I like cake once in a while, but I don't eat cake every day. I eat cake once a blue moon. I don't eat candy, none of that. But my biggest struggle with all this is honestly it's not even sodas anymore. Because while I do occasionally drink a soda here and there, I do tend to drink a lot of water though, so that's fine. My biggest struggle is carbs and breads and rice. Now rice I've cut back on last year, but breads, specifically bagels in the morning or breads in general, that has been a struggle for me. And I love eating sandwiches. I can eat protein. I love protein. Meats, steaks, chicken, you name it. I can eat all that any day in the sun. But I also, I'm someone that also needs that taste of a carb on the side. Last year when we started doing this process, I started cutting back on, the amount of carbs. It's like when I did a plate of food, for example, what they say that you should have half of your plate should be protein, and then the next 25% of the plate, if not more, should be veggies. And then the rest of the plate, 80%, 20% or whatever or less, should be if you want to put a carb or a starch, you can do that. But I've kind of gone away from that. And I'm gone back to where like rice and breads have been back to the forefront, where it's like on balance and on par with the protein, and that's not good because again, breads and rice turn to sugar, which then spikes your insulin. And it's a struggle because you're trying to undo 40 plus years of something that I've been this came so natural to me, and you're trying to undo something like 40 something years into okay, now we got to change this way, and it sucks. It sucks because I'm struggling with it. I hit a wall in the last couple weeks, and to boot, this also kind of coincides with stress. I've been going through a lot of like personal stress as of late. I spoke about in the podcast about how I've been struggling with my car as of late. My car issues, which cost me a lot of money. Thank God I don't have payments, but money I put away for a while. I'm someone that's pretty big on saving money and pretty frugal and pretty, I'm very repetitive when it comes to things. Like I like things in a certain order. I'm very conservative in that way. I really always have been. when it comes to saving money, especially in this economy and how things are. And I work at a job where, I love my job to death, but at the same time, we do have a season and then we have an off season. We're now getting into an off season now. So we got to be very careful. I got to be very careful with how much money I'm spending if I'm making a little bit less money than I would in the winter and in the spring. So now we're in a situation now where I've I put a couple $1,000s in my car, and yes, it works now, thank God. So that's the good news. So I'm not going to complain about that. And again, it is this money. Yes, I agree, but it's a pain in the ass because then it's not just me. I'm counting for it. It's myself. It's my wife. It's my 2 kids, and things come up. And then now, just today, my family car, the SUV, that it kind of went on the fritz a little bit. Like it wouldn't start as well. Now it did start eventually, but there's an issue with the brakes and all this stuff, and the car wouldn't start. Basically, it's kind of similar to my situation with my car where the ABS was an issue. This was the ABS issue, but what's the brake issue? Basically, long story short, because this is the kind of car where you press the button and it turns on. It's one of the newer ish cars that that you just press a button and you hit the pedal and it turns on. You don't put a key in the ignition like you used to back in the day. It wouldn't start. And part of the reason why is the brakes got stiff, similar to what I told you guys on the podcast back about my car where the ABS locks up and it paralyzes itself. At least this, with the truck, we were able to start it to take it to the mechanic. And basically, long story short, there's issues that we already knew about, but we were kind of holding off a little longer before we had to fix it. But now we have to address it. We're looking at another $1,000. So now, in a span of 4 months, between both our cars, my wife and I, we have put in about $6,000 in repairs of the car. Now we say, oh, that's a lot of money to get new cars. Yeah. You look at the market lately, how much cars cost? That's literally a combination of about maybe 7 to 8 car payments. So on one hand, it's annoying that we had to take out our savings account to take care of this stuff and address it. But at the same time, once it's fixed, it's done. We're not paying we're not having car payments in again. So it's one of the things you balance it out. It's annoying. Because it's a part of me that does want a new car because again, I like having something newer. Most new cars are dependable at least in the first couple of years. But at the same time, you're paying car payments today are it's ridiculous. I'm seeing friends of mine who are driving basic 4-cylinder cars now and paying $400 and $500 a month for it on a 6-year finance. That's insane. And this has been a thing since COVID. So her and my wife and I, we decided, and she's on the same page. We're going to keep these cars. They run well, and they have run well for a long time until they go to the ground. And we'll just keep putting money away. And if we have to put money away, continue to put money away. In the event these things pop up, so be it. At least we don't have what payments. Well, throwing another $1,000 a month in cars. So, because hypothetically, if we had 2 car payments, for example, we'll probably have to dedicate budget $1,000, close to $1,000 into car payments between the 2 of us. That's not happening. Okay, that is not happening because if we do that, then we can't really enjoy the things we want to do, travel and go to Disney with the family trips, and all these other things we love doing on the side. We can't do that. It can't save money either because that money's not being thrown into a thing that a car, for example, where okay, that's cool and all, but my cars that are paid off that may have some issues once in a while, but still accomplish the same damn thing that a newer car does as well too. So you're trying to balance peace of mind versus what's right and what's smart. I'm 44. I'll be 44 tomorrow. I don't need a new car. I don't need to look nice in a 2025, 2024 car. I need something to get me to work. Occasionally, a place I need to be in call it a day. I'm good. So it's annoying. It's really annoying. But the truck is not a massive issue. It'll get fixed. We have the money for it. We'll take care of it, and then we'll move forward. So that's just that. Also, with stress, and this kind of kicked off the whole thing last year with when I found out I was diabetic, when I found out I had these health concerns. This started with my bulging disc. Remember last year I had my bulging disc, late winter last year. And we found out through that process that I also have osteoporosis in my neck. This is not an issue. That's back in place again. That's fine. But in the last month or so, my neck has been sore a lot. It's nowhere close and painful as it was back in February last year. Let's be clear about that. Although I do get once in a while, get a little bit of tweaks in my neck, little pinpoints, little like sharp pain, like randomly, but it's not nothing consistent that it was last year. But I've been going through that lately. So I actually finally went to my chiropractor for the first time in about 2 months. Shout out to Kevin Uzri, of course. And he took care of me. He gave me an adjustment, which I need to start doing every month anyway. And I kind of slacked on that last couple months. I need to start going there every month and getting an adjustment because, I do a job. It's very physical for starters, and my neck is definitely something that's involved. I also need to find ways to sleep better. I need to, it's funny. All these things too, especially with osteoarthritis and all this stuff, and just not feeling well. This all goes back to diet. This also goes back to what I put in my system. And these last couple of weeks, and I'll say a month also too, it's been really rough. It's been really rough when it comes to that. And unfortunately, a lot of times when I get into situations where I'm stressed out, eating is a comfort thing for me. It's always been a comfort thing for me. Now, I've kept my weight down, which is good, but that's just part of the system. That's just part of it. I'm still down around 200 pounds, which obviously I want to be a lot lower than that, but 200 pounds is compared to where I was like a couple of years ago is a massive difference. But I still like to get closer to 180, 170. That's my goal, ultimately to get down there, and then start doing strength training as well on top of that. That's a goal for me as well too. But again, what you put in your system is important. My wife has been killing it with that still. I mean, obviously she has her days and the moments where she eats a sweet here and there, but she's crushing it. And I don't want, my biggest fear, and I keep saying that, I said this before on the show, that my biggest fear is her, I don't want to traumatize her, because she said her biggest fear is one day being in bed and not waking up, because of you not taking care of yourself. And she's right. And it's traumatic. She's had enough trauma in her life as is. And I don't want to add that to her. That woman means a lot to me. And I can't imagine me doing that to her and my children as well too. Especially given where we're at now as a family, age-wise too. My kids are still really young, 11 and 7. My wife's still in the mid-30s. So it's one of those things where I don't want to add that trauma to her. I don't. But it's just hard to sometimes focus and refocus and stuff. But this has been a struggle for me. These last couple of weeks, like month or two, has been very, very challenging, stressful mentally for me. And again, you go back to the eating thing, and it's comforting, and yeah, it feels good in the moment. But then, what are you doing to yourself and to your body, right? Your body, your health is wealth, and take care of your body. So I gotta say about that. And I say that I'm not trying to preach to you guys as though I'm doing it, because I'm not doing it the way I should be doing it. But I'm being real about the situation. Like, hey, listen, I struggle with this too. Also, that doesn't mean that you couldn't turn it around. You just have to put the work in. That's all. So that's what I've been going through the last couple weeks and months and whatever. So hopefully I can get through this situation. I'm gonna get my kids from school a little bit. I'm hopefully go for a walk outside and maybe get a couple laps in, and get the the body going again, the blood flowing again, and all that. So. But what I will say about good news and positive news on my family front, as we continue to get a little personal here on the podcast, my youngest son Logan, who just turned 7, he is killing it at school academically. He is a very, very smart kid. We got a note from his teacher actually. First of all, he's been on a roll all 3 semesters this year. Probably gonna go for the clean sweep this semester when this is over. Basically, he's reading at a 3rd grade level, number 1. His math testing, according to his teacher, also is at a 3rd grade level, and his skills are higher than 94% of students nationally. That is unbelievable. My son real is killing it. He's a smart kid, great kid. Has a lot of you see the potential with both our kids really, but my youngest one, you see the potential. Me being 7 years old, what could be in the years to come. And hopefully we can keep this up. Hopefully this can be a thing that continues he continues this trek of just kicking ass and focus on school and be able to have a really good life. And and that's the thing. I want to be here for all that. I do, So I'm very proud of him and everything he's doing there. We last week, and again, this is we celebrated last week when we got the news about that, and we went out to have pizza and ice cream last week. Probably shouldn't have eaten all that stuff I ate, but again, it is what it is, right? So, I told you guys last week, we family went to Disney World. My first time in 5 years. Me and the kids, first time in 5 years, because I haven't gone since COVID, and even before COVID, like my past is I've been going so many times throughout, the last 10 years prior. So I was all Disney out, and then I decided to get my passes back because they've added more stuff to the parks as of late. Last couple of years, and whatnot. I had a phenomenal time. I got the passes back, and we'll keep the pass for a year, maybe a second year. We'll see how it plays out. But it's funny because like as much as I love Disney World and the experiences I have there with my wife and kids, and it was phenomenal last week. I still have a love-hate with that company. I really do. So one of the things I found out recently is they are going to stop. They have a thing called the disability pass, where like people who have certain disabilities, they're able to go through a fast track in a line for a ride. They have easier access to a line, and we have that because my wife has anxiety. She got treated for PTSD and high anxiety recently, so she qualified for that. And now the Disney World is going to pull that back now. They already pulled back the fast pass. They pulled that back. Now they're looking to pull back the disability pass. Not so much now. It's still going to exist, but from what I'm reading, what I'm finding out is that they're going to make it harder for folks that if you have a disability, for example, that you have to show proof. You're going to go through a third party, and you're going to go through all these loophole, all these these different things and stuff to prove it. Make it harder for folks not to just get approved for sake of approval. Now we're gonna go through it obviously and make sure we get approved again for that, because again, in our case, it's real. Now look, I understand what they're doing. A lot of folks, get disability passes even though they don't have disabilities. They do that and they buck the system, and I get that. As a company, I understand why they're doing that, and I feel like they're trying to, get out all the riffraff, all that, to make it work for the company. But at the same time, Disney World is they've done a lot of things in the last couple of years that just piss me off as a customer. While I love their material and love the rides and have a good time when I'm there, my family, raising prices have gone up again. Animal prices have gone up again. And I feel like they're also trying to cater to a just a high end wage gap. In other words, cater to an upper middle class, if you will. Now, look, could we afford Disney passes? Yes, we can. We figured a way. We threw it in our budget, and we're fine. But when we go up there, even with the passes, we pay $100 a month between all four of us. We're still going to be spending about gas alone will cost us about $80 probably. Because it's half tank there and half tank back. When you're up there, you're spending about $100, $200 easy. It's easy on food. And look, my wife and the kids, she loves buying them gifts up there. She gets tempted to buy them stuff up there, which I always tell her, no, don't do it. What's the point? But she does anyway, and I can't stop her. She's the boss, right? So I have this massive love-hate, relationship with Disney World, where I love the rides. I have a good time. I'm there, but God, they are such a money pit. It's insane. And I complain about it for years on the show, and it's gotten worse now as I gotten older, and it sucks. I was telling my best friend the other day, like I asked him because he used to have passes from Disney, and I asked him, are you getting it back? He's like, hell no. He's like, fuck no. And he was like, no, they're not getting my money again. They just did, and for the same reasons why I have a problem with Disney is they're trying to price you out. They're trying to price out the middle class and cater to the rich. That's what it seems like. If they're not trying to do that, well, the optics seem otherwise. Raising prices on everything across the board. Thank God we got passes, because parking now. I remember a time like maybe it might have been not only like maybe 5 years ago where parking let's say you don't have passes, you just show up to Disney World to go because you want to go for park for a day. Parking was, I think, $14. I went last week to Disney World, and parking there was $30. Now, if you have passes, it's free. Hopefully it stays that way, but knowing Disney and finding ways to make a buck, they may just put a fee on there for pass holders too. Like, wait, they pay maybe less money for parking. I'm not giving you ideas, obviously, for Disney. I'm not just saying that. Hopefully you don't do that because that'll piss you off. That'll be another reason why I would never buy passes again for you guys. But it sucks because they make it harder for people like myself and to enjoy as much as I do. Even though I do enjoy it, but I wouldn't mind being a lifetime pass holder, but you make it harder by raising the price every damn year. And I know you're adding more to the parks, but it's annoying as shit. It's annoying. So please get your shit together, man. You know, I'm all for everybody being able to eat. Even corporations can eat too. I get that. Yes, but God, I at the risk of getting us broke? Like, come on now, let's go. Anyway, one NBA thing I want to touch on here because we'll talk more NBA with the Degenerate tonight on the podcast. That episode will be coming up tonight, dropping them either late tonight, tomorrow morning. So last night, the Lakers eliminated by the Nuggets in 5. Great game 5, by the way, last night. And LeBron James out of playoffs again. He is now 39 years old. Next year, he should be back next year. He'll be playing next year, should be. And he'll be 40 years old next season if he plays, obviously. And it's funny, like LeBron now 21 years in, phenomenal career, arguably greatest player in basketball. I go Jordan 1, LeBron 2, but that's in my opinion. But a lot of my friends and I see people on social media talking about LeBron, and he's so polarizing as an athlete, as a person. And yet, when I look at LeBron James, I ask myself, he's polarizing, right? I get it, but why? Like, I don't find him as polarizing as you think he is. Like, I understand people's love. The people who love him, I understand why I love him so much. People who can't stand him, I could see optics wise looks bad. But I don't find LeBron as polarizing as people make it out to be. Like, I think at the core who he is, like, you may have problems with his political beliefs, and that's fine. I don't find LeBron to be very politically astute myself. Even if I agree with a lot of stuff he says, he just goes for what he believes in his heart. I don't find LeBron James to be some political aficionado. I never asked him to be that way. He has a right to express what he's expressed. The people who don't like him, most people who don't like him are the ones who don't like his politics. But yet, would you feel the same about LeBron James if you agree with your politics, though? That's the question. It's not about LeBron. It's about you just don't agree with him, so therefore you have a problem with him. But I never understood why he's so polarizing. Like, at the core of who he is, and look, maybe things are different from behind the scenes, but we now have 21 years of a guy who is still with the same woman since high school, has 3 kids, okay? And from what we see right now in 2024, and look, this can change, maybe things change in the future, but what I can see, that is a tight-knit family. The James family, him and Savannah, the 2 boys and the girl, was it Zuri's her name, the daughter, and then Bronny and Bryce, I guess is the other one. Tight-knit family. A tight-knit black family. And we are in a world where for years we've been critical of athletes, and specifically black athletes, not being there for their kids, not the family, going and having different women and wives and all this stuff through the years, and different baby mamas and different kids from different women. And we've been critical of that for years. And we sit here and we preach that we want great role models, great father figures, kids to look up to. And we are sitting here criticizing a man that is still with the same woman for 20 plus years now. Married, 3 kids, still going strong. And we don't seem to be look at this guy as the worst human being in the world. I never understood that. Look, you can be critical of his play on the court. You can be critical of him not being the player that you expect him to be. Here's what's real. Here's what's fact though. LeBron James, for all the hype came in the league in 2003, and remember the Chosen One SI article, all that stuff. He has exceeded every expectation we and the media put out there. There was no way we thought this guy would be. When we saw Michael Jordan retire, we all said to ourselves, "There's no way in hell we're going to see another Michael Jordan ever in his lifetime. Never." That was the talk. That there'll never be another Jordan, someone close to Jordan ever again. We got LeBron, and the thing about LeBron it makes him special is that unlike Kobe, he's different. His style play is different, and this guy has literally no, negative things off the court. Like, what's the worst thing you can say about LeBron James? Oh, he went to Miami because he didn't tell the fans in Cleveland he went to Miami. He didn't give him a heads up. He left Cleveland. Seriously. Or I don't like LeBron's politics. It offends me. Even though you're the same people that preach freedom. Freedom of thought, freedom of speech. That offends me. I don't like his politics. But then you see people also want your athletes to be honest and upfront and transparent. You can't have both ways, guys. You can't. Here's why LeBron James. And look, I'm the guy that still says Michael Jordan won, LeBron 2. Excuse me. But here is why LeBron James is still in the GOAT conversation. Okay? I read this morning on a social media post, and this made the most sense. I'm going to read this to you guys real quick. Okay? And this might frame a lot of the LeBron rhetoric, him being polarizing, if you will. And this is true. Quote, the standards that has been set for LeBron James is so astronomically high. At 39 and in his 21st season, he's expected to do everything for his team and play as perfect as possible. LeBron has to score, rebound, hustle, call plays, and play defense. Despite doing so, his haters continue to criticize him as if Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant was still dominating at this age. In the words of San Antonio Spurs coach Greg Popovich, quote, I always thought you guys always had something to say about LeBron. If LeBron went right, you say he should go left. If he shot, you say he should have passed it. If he passed it, he should have shot it. And I always thought that was all baloney. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? This just proves why LeBron is the GOAT. Nobody else is held to this kind of standard. That last part's true. There has never been a player in this history of this league, not even Jordan himself, been held to a higher standard than LeBron James has. And you can say, oh, well, he did to himself because of the way he came to the league and the SI article and that stuff. And okay, that's cool. But, and I think this is one of the reasons why the folks who are pro LeBron ride hard for him, because the ones who are anti LeBron ride against him heavy. So you create the antithesis of it now. Because you're such a hater now, you now drive the LeBron stands or LeBron sexuals, you guys call it, to go hard the other way. Now, I'll say this right real quick. Both sides are unhealthy. Both sides are very unhealthy, for the record. Okay? I've always said LeBron's in the conversation. I've always said that while Jordan won, because of LeBron's longevity and the fact that he's still this good at age 39, turned 40. By the way, Michael Jordan was pretty good at 39. He was pretty good. He was really good. Average 20 in the game. LeBron's averaging more. LeBron is actually a better player at this age than Jordan was. Now, I always said higher power is Jordan's number one. I experienced both guys in their prime. Trust me. I'm speaking from experience. But it's not a closed door conversation just yet. And I wish we can just appreciate LeBron for what he is. Again, we treat this guy like this guy literally murdered someone or assaulted someone or cheated. Again, the worst thing this guy ever did was literally leave Cleveland for Miami, and he didn't tell them about it. He went on national television to embarrass the city. Imagine that. That's your big, what do you call it? Thing about LeBron. He left Cleveland. Look, if you don't like him as a player, I get it. You like when he flops. I get it. Because one of the things with LeBron I can't stand is the passive aggressive nature he operates. But he's also trying to please everybody else too, also on top of that, whether you like it or not. But all I'm saying is this, man. Appreciate this, what we're seeing, because I don't think we'll see this ever again. Kevin Durant's great. He's turning 36. He's 36 now, I think. I don't know if Kevin Durant will be this good at this age. I don't know. I don't know if Luka will be this good at this age. Jokic, these guys. All these stars coming up right now in the next 10, 15 years. I don't know if they'll be this good when that time comes. LeBron James is the greatest player at this age we've ever seen in this league. Okay? Now, you want to go Jordan 1 and whatever? That's fine. I'm okay with it because I agree with you on that. But let's appreciate what this guy's doing. This guy's incredible. And that's just that. All right. Switch up a little bit of some politics here. I want to discuss something here. Joe Rogan, I don't know. He was talking about RFK Jr. I don't know who he had. He might have been talking Carlson in the show. But Joe Rogan, I think made an endorsement. Well, at least it sounded like he made an endorsement to RFK Jr. on this podcast. I'm going to play a clip here real quick, and we'll break it down in a second.
Problem is the people that want that job shouldn't have that job.
Yeah.
Right? No quality, except for there's a rare few. Like I think RFK is a great person.
Yeah.
I would vote for him. Mm-hmm. I think Tulsi Gabbard is a great person.
Yeah.
I would vote for her. There's people that I think are running for office and they're legitimately trying to do well for the world. They're trying to make a better place. They think they have ideas that would sort out some of the problems that we have, and they're one of us. That's real. But then there's these fucking people, the rest of them, they're just these partisan fucking robots, and they just get connected to the system, and they know which wheels to grease, and they all get connected together, and they support each other, and it's just ugh.
Joe Rogan, this is like an official endorsement, but definitely consideration. He mentioned Tulsi Gabbard too, which I have thoughts on that as well too. Again, Joe Rogan is done with the establishment. I think Joe Rogan's also politically, it's weird because he's a Bernie guy. He's a Bernie Sanders guy, a liberal, pro-choice, the whole nine. You look at Joe Rogan's, line by line atoms of things he cares about politically, according to him, of course, the 30 years of this is his podcast, 30 years. And I like Rogan for the record. I do like Rogan. He's very liberal, very left-leaning. We're going to call it that. But he's been very critical more of the left than the right in recent years. And I keep telling you guys the reason that is, and it's not just Joe Rogan, it happens to a lot of people too in the political commentary spectrum, depending on what leaning you are. There's a thing called audience capture. And depending who your audience is and who's paying your bills, who's getting advertisements through your shows or through your platforms, and a lot of the majority of Joe Rogan's audience are mostly males, white males, and are either they're not necessarily hard right. Although there's a lot of hard right guys love Rogan and a lot of right wing guys love Joe Rogan. That's their right, of course, obviously, but also a lot of folks who are disgruntled with the left. So Joe Rogan is captured. They call it audience capture by an audience that a mostly right-leaning audience. Maybe not heavy right, but definitely not left-leaning. And because his audience is mostly made up of folks in that demographic, Joe Rogan either has to cater to that audience in fear of losing those numbers, losing numbers or whatnot. And that's why I think that's why you saw him go, it made no sense a couple of years ago when he was saying, if DeSantis won the nomination, I vote for DeSantis or with Biden or whatever, which makes no sense because then why? Number one, and I say why because you said the things you care about politically. For example, Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump, to a lesser degree, are the antithesis of what the things you believe in politically. So why would you vote for those guys? Even if you disagree with the left and how they act and how they operate, from a policy perspective, why would you go that route? And that's why I always never understood about Joe Rogan. But here's the thing: the reason why he's going that way is because he has to go that way, rather. And again, a lot of podcasters feel that way. It's because they are, they're caught by audience capture. Because their audience is mostly, even though he's a left-leaning guy, because his audience is mostly right-leaning, he has to kind of cater to that audience. That's how you get the bills paid. That's why a lot of this stuff sometimes feels unauthentic. So right now, from my mouth, I'm a nobody. I'm a centrist, slightly left leaning guy, depending on the issues. I'm a policy guy. So there's a lot of things on right issues I do agree with. I'm a pro two-way guy, but I'm also pro choice, But you'll always get from me authentic and honest, and I'll bring anybody on this platform as long as they have a productive conversation. You know that. No, on this platform, on this podcast, you'll always get authentic thoughts and opinions from me. Okay, regardless of your audience capture. Okay, I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna offend people. I'm gonna be honest about it. We had people on the right pissed at me a month ago for my comments on Candace Owens. Okay, we have people on the left pissed at me for other things I've said in the past also too. So it is what it is. But I don't think that was a real endorsement. RFK Jr. may have excuse me, a little hair on my microphone. RFK Jr. may have an impact on this election, and again, it's not because he's going to win the election. He has no fucking shot winning the election. We know that already. But how many votes will he siphon from both Trump and Biden, and who will it affect more? Now, the money's on it'll affect Trump more because a lot more, again, audience capture. RFK Jr., independent, former Democrat, has more appeal to the right than to the left. So the logic is that may hurt Trump, which is why you see Trump actually hitting him hard a bit lately as of late in the press, in campaigning for being elected again. But we shall see. It should be a fascinating thing going forward from there. All right, a couple of things to get out of here. On the podcast a couple weeks ago after WrestleMania, World Wrestling Talk here, that we were officially at the end of the Vince McMahon era. Well, clearly I didn't get a message because the official part of the end of Vince McMahon in WWE happened this past weekend. Basically, he's either sold all the remaining shares of TKO. Remember, WWE and TKO or WC merged together, formed a one company called Endeavor, where Vince became a shareholder, and he's been selling off shares in the last year with all these allegations and stuff surrounding him of sex trafficking, all this stuff and whatnot. And so they've diminished Vince's influence in the company, obviously. Now, from what we heard after WrestleMania on the last podcast we recorded on that topic, he had, I think, 4.7% percent of shares in the company left. Well, according to reports now, he's either sold the remaining shares or he is selling those remaining shares right now. I don't know which one is fact yet, but there's definitely the motion to Vince to no longer be involved in this company at all, and the discussion, creative, you name it, shareholder, you name it. Rumors also too that if he were to do this or wanted to do this, talk to him, maybe doing another promotion. I doubt that happens, honestly. The dude's 78 years old. I know he's a hard worker, and one of the things about Vince always said for years is that his work ethic is top of line. No one worked harder, even as a billionaire, than Vincent Kennedy McMahon, without question. I've always admired that about Vince McMahon. He's just a scummy son of a bitch. He's a scummy asshole, scummy, guy. Okay, but work ethic wise, no one better. I don't think that's gonna happen. New promotion. I think he's in, and in my opinion, he should just retire, enjoy his grandkids, and all that, and just enjoy the money he has. Okay. Nick Khan, also a president of WWE, is also reportedly selling all the stock as well too in the company. I don't know if that coincides with Vince and all that stuff. I don't know. Is there a lane for another wrestling promotion? Probably, but I think Vince's his Q rating is bad. It's bad. I don't think it's a smart move for him to do something like that, honestly. So, but yeah, we saw WrestleMania in rhetoric, in words from the company. This is the Paul Levesque era. You saw Stephanie McMahon say that about her husband. Stephanie is Vince's daughter. And now we are here now, where now we're seeing actual numbers, actual data reflect on what's going forward with the WWE going forward. He is no longer part of WWE. And I got to be honest with you, acknowledging that he's a prick, acknowledging that he's a scummy asshole, acknowledging that he's a dirty guy. It's a bit bittersweet for me, in a sense, because love or hate Vince McMahon, for me, he is a huge part of my childhood. And what I mean by that is I've been a wrestling fan since 1997. This is almost 40 years now. And he has shaped a lot of my enjoyment of entertainment throughout these 40 years. To this day, I enjoy wrestling today. I enjoy wrestling from the old school, and I have for years. And he has shaped my entertainment. So I can appreciate this man and what he has brought to me as a person that enjoys the product, while also acknowledging that the guy is a complete asshole. He's a bad guy. Both can be right here. And I'll leave it at that. That's all I'll say. Last thing we got here. One more thing we got here. So that's one of the longer solo pods in a while. Love it. Let me see here. I have a list here. Everything here. Oh yeah, I have an updated list of concerts I want to attend. So I think a couple months ago I revealed the shows that I'm interested in going to this summer, this year in 2024. One I already went to, obviously, back in February. I mentioned Janet Jackson. Obviously, it's coming in July. I need to see that. I need to finally see my ex-wife. See my ex-wife. But two more shows were added recently in the last couple of weeks. I didn't really talk about in the podcast. I want to attend. Now, granted, both these bands I've seen multiple times already, but I want to see them. First time we've seen them almost 20 years. Korn was announced about a month ago. They're coming down in September as well, which I'm definitely planning on going to that show. It's a Saturday. It works out great for my schedule with me and the kids and whatnot. So Korn, who's opening that show? Korn, I can't remember exactly. I know Spirit Box, Korn, and some of the band on that show. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Korn is the main attraction anyway for that show. And then just announced last week, one of my favorite bands in the world, top 5 bands for me, Megadeth, who I've seen twice as well. Like I've seen Korn twice, but I've seen Korn 20 years. Megadeth is coming down here in August, to same place in West Palm Beach. They're coming with Mudvayne again. In August 26th, I believe it is. Also a Saturday, which works out great for me. Saturdays are actually great days for me to go to concerts because it's like that's one day I can get a babysitter and all this stuff and make things work out. So we got Megadeth, we got Korn, we got Janet Jackson, the 3 biggest shows of the year for me that I want to attend. My wife and I were going to try to go to see 21 Pilots in Orlando in September as well too, but that show is pretty much sold out. We were looking for tickets for all 4 of us, me, the wife, and the kids. And there was no tickets together for 4 people together. None. We scoured the entire arena, the arena where the Orlando Magic play, and nothing. So we're gonna probably miss that show, which sucks because my wife's a massive fan of that band. I like them a lot too. Also, my whole family likes them. Put it this way, my entire family loves that band. So it kind of sucks. But yeah, the 3 shows that I'm prioritizing right now this year are obviously Janet Jackson, which I finally get to see. So I got to say finally I saw both Michael and Jen live. I can say that. I finally say that. Megadeth in August, and then Korn in September. So those are the updated list of concerts I'm planning on attending this year. And if more come to the pike, I will let you guys know. And other than that will do for today's podcast, dated April 30th, 2024. It is my last day as a 43-year-old. I am on Twitter X, formerly Twitter, at EJ Christian 7. Earnestly podcast across all podcast catchers. Guys, do me a favor also too. We've slowed down a little bit on this as of late, and I haven't really mentioned it, to be honest with you. If you got a YouTube page, you have YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube page at Earnest EJ Christian. We want to get to 500 subscribers. Right now we're at 339. I think it's 340. I think it was. We want to grow the page, grow the YouTube page. All my work is there. All my podcasts I do. This show, obviously, my wrestling retro podcast, which I'm going to come back on the horn tonight. Subscribe, please. Do so. We have clips of the shows there. We got other stuff there, products there. I'm going to be adding more stuff there. I'm doing more YouTube shorts as well on the page. So please, guys, check it out. Support me. Appreciate it. Doesn't cost you a penny. Just subscribe. When those numbers grow and continue to grow, and we appreciate all your support. The ones who already have subscribed, we appreciate your support. Of course, we have the audio and the video of this podcast now, so you do that for me, please. Other than that, we will talk soon. I have to go here now, record, hopefully, the podcast in the next couple minutes. So we'll talk soon. Love you guys. Take care and see ya.